Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Budget, the podcast from Legacy Financial Coaching. I'm Greg Carroll, your dedicated coach and legacy architect. Here, we go beyond balancing the numbers to explore the strategies, mindset shifts, and habits that lead to true financial freedom and lasting wealth. Together, we'll tackle financial stress, unlock more freedom in your finances, and empower you to create a legacy that inspires and impacts generations to come. If you're ready to move beyond just making ends meet and start building a brighter financial future, you're in the right place. Welcome to Beyond the Budget and episode number 1. This is an incredibly exciting moment for me. Who would have ever thought I'd be here at this moment on January 3rd, dropping my first podcast for the world to hear? Okay, well, maybe just my family and a few close friends to start out, but hey, I'm here, and that's all that really matters. I'm Greg Carroll, and I'm excited you are here as we kick off this journey toward building a stronger financial legacy together. I've never done a podcast before. I've listened to quite a few, but this is the first time for me, and I'll be honest with y'all, this is a little intimidating. I'm normally an analytical person, that type person that likes to have everything perfect. Well, I'm following the philosophy of ready, shoot, aim. You know what? I'm okay if this isn't perfect. I'm sure I'll learn a lot over time, but this podcast is something that I've felt the desire to launch not long after I started Legacy Financial Coaching because of my desire to help others. It's been a little over a year since I launched my coaching practice, and man, have I learned a lot. I've worked with clients from all over the U.S. and all different stories and backgrounds. Some didn't know that they were whether or not they were going to make the rent or mortgage payment next month. Others are frustrated because they knew they had a lot of money, but still felt like they were struggling each month. And I've worked with others that have been blessed and made good choices, but just didn't have a plan or understand what they should do next. So who am I and how did I get here and get to this point of launching a podcast? I won't bore you with all the details, as I'm sure I'll be sharing more in upcoming episodes, but suffice it to say, I am blessed. But the journey has not always been butterflies and skittles. I'm husband to Karen, my best friend and beautiful wife. This March of 2025, we will celebrate 34 years of marriage. And yes, we did get married young. We have 2 beautiful daughters, Kaylee, my firstborn. She's a pediatric nurse practitioner. And my secondborn, Kara, who's a pediatric nurse. Now, being a girl dad is not for everyone, but I can tell you that I have cherished every second of it. Well, there was that one time. No, I'm just kidding. During the day, I work in corporate America, and I'm also a part-time master financial coach. My hope and prayer is that in this podcast, that this will be a place for listeners to hear practical advice, inspiring stories, and be able to take actionable steps to help them on their journey to become a better steward with the resources that God has blessed them with. I'm excited to see where God is going to lead, and I'm glad that you are on this journey with me. Personal financial coaching was the last thing on my radar. As a matter of fact, I've made plenty of mistakes with money over the years. The biggest problem, of course, was me. The other problem was that I followed what everybody else was doing, what society told me to do. If everyone else was taking out a loan to get a car, why shouldn't I? I mean, as long as I could afford the car payment, why not? And who wants to do a budget? As long as my checkbook balanced at the end of the month, I was good. Besides, budgets, they're too restrictive. Who wants to be limited by a budget? Chasing after the latest investment opportunities because it was on an infomercial. Yes, those were things back in my day growing up. Was the next thing that I tried. Today, you are bombarded with these clips on TikTok and Instagram by so-called influencers that tell you how you can make enough money to last you 3 lifetimes in just a couple of months. I can only imagine how messed up I would be if I was my 20-year-old self had the technology that's available today. The systems of this world always are out to get your money and to make you think that what you have is not enough. But when you don't make smart and wise financial decisions, this can mean certain disaster. What I do know is that the more I tried to do things on my own, the worse I made things. Fortunately, I serve a good God that is full of grace. When I finally surrendered the area of finances to the Lord, I agreed to take Financial Peace University and implemented the baby steps. And the turnaround, personally as well as financially, has been nothing short of a miracle. After a while, Karen actually made the suggestion to me that I look into becoming a personal financial coach. Proverbs 31:10 and 11 says, "An excellent wife who can find? She is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain." I can tell you one thing for sure and two things for certain. God blessed me when he gave me Karen as my wife, and these verses are true. Thank you, honey, for your patience and your grace, your encouragement, and it's because of you that this podcast is even becoming a reality. Let me shift gears a little and tell you a little bit about Legacy Financial Coaching. The mission of Legacy Financial Coaching is to empower individuals and families to achieve financial freedom, build sustainable wealth, and create a lasting legacy. Many people think they are destined to always have payments or to always be in debt. Let me tell you, the marketing departments for the credit card companies want you to think this way. Proverbs 22:7 says, "The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." Society wants us to have this slave mindset so that we will always remain in debt and have no hope of being financially free. However, Luke 16:11 says, "If you have not been faithful with the unrighteous wealth, who will entrust you to the true riches?" This means that there is a better way to do finances, and it is contrary to what this world says. This is why I've adopted the tagline, "Become a better steward." Our vision statement for Legacy Financial is, we envision a world where financial literacy is universal, and every individual has the knowledge and tools to build a prosperous future. We aspire to be the leading authority in financial coaching, renowned for empowering our clients to achieve financial independence and create enduring legacies that inspire and benefit generations to come. This is the biblical way to do money. Please hear me. I'm not talking about a prosperity mindset or some steps to follow and then God will give you $1 million. In the same way we are taught in the Bible how to love one another, God also has a lot to say about how to handle money and how to handle what he has blessed us with. The purpose of this podcast is to empower listeners to take control of their finances and create lasting legacies. There is so much bad information out there, and I want to be able to share what God has to say about money and how he can use us as individuals in our finances to glorify him, bless others, and to enjoy his blessings in this life. So what can you expect from the Beyond Your Budget podcast? My goal is to deliver weekly episodes, a variety of topics like money mindset, discovering your why, doing money God's way, debt payoff, generosity, and so much more. It's my hope and prayer to include expert guest appearances, listener Q&A, and even some free resources. My approach will emphasize the practical, no fluff, and simple approach to personal finance. Nothing complicated here. Here's what I need from you. First, if you would, and if you're listening, please commit to pray for me and my family on this podcast journey. Second, help me spread the word of this podcast by subscribing, liking, leaving positive reviews, and sharing this podcast with everyone you know. Next, you can connect with me on my social media channels. The links are below in the show notes. Also, if you or someone you know would benefit from working with a personal financial coach like me, Click on the no-cost initial consultation link below in the show notes, and let's see if coaching is right for you. Thank you for hanging out with me today. You won't want to miss next week's episode, which is Find Your Why. This is one of the most important topics when it comes to transforming your finances, or actually any other area of your life for that matter. I hope you'll tune in. Remember, financial freedom is possible, and it all starts with a single step. Let's take that step together. See you next week. Be free.